This is DAK2 from MMP Games. It's part of the Operational Combat series. We are playing the desert campaign with a March 29th start. It's called Race to the Wire. Okay. Now we're looking at the situation at the end of the turn beginning 1st April. So effectively 2 turns taken place. So what's happened is the Germans have bust out of their sort of defensive lines around Elagala and overwhelmed the Allied defences in that area, because they had the first turn anyway. On the second turn they pushed forward. The Allies did something really stupid. Instead of actually garrisoning this hex, they garrisoned in a hex over here. So they weren't able to put a blocker on this road, and it led to the Italians catching Benghazi on the second turn, which gives them a trace supply. Even though Benghazi is heavily damaged, it's still got a 2T capacity, which is enough to act as a trace supply. And also the Axis can move coastal shipping from Tripoli to Benghazi, and that only costs half the normal amount. So for 2 transport they could actually bring in 1 strength point worth of supply. German Air Force is sort of attempting to get onto the board. You see these blue discs here, they represent German held airstrips, and the red ones are the Allies, but it's a case of anything that's not really near the front line, it's no longer marked. So there are German strips back here that are actually they're not marked with discs, because it's pretty obvious who controls them at this particular moment. The Allies are basically on the run. They're falling back from their positions. They're having to blow a load of static dumps or use them as much as they can to fuel retreating units. So they're retreating a lot faster than the Germans can actually track them down at the moment. The only thing that is going on is the Allies are beginning to form round Tobruk. You've got the 9th Australian, which is holding this El Machili position, which is a bit exposed as it stands, but the Germans are still a fair way off at the moment. You've got the 7th Armoured guarding the flank around here, around the Tobruk area, and you've got the 2nd Army Armoured, which is a very weak formation. It's not really an actual division as such, even though it's got a divisional disc on its formation. You've got 6th Australian, which is currently in Tobruk. So that's pretty much all the Allies are going to be able to pull together. They've got a very weak HQ unit here, which is pretty much useless. So all in all, the Allied army's not really up to much, but then again the German army isn't particularly brilliant, and it's going to be struggling with supply fairly quickly because of the nature of this game. I think this is where OCS actually does shine in a scenario, well, not a scenario, a campaign that was completely dominated by supply issues. Okay, I don't think there's much more to say at the moment. No, we'll leave it at that.